Hello, my lovelies. Happy Wednesday. I hope you've had a good day. It is blooming freezing here. We have been frozen in the shop all day today. I managed to get a whole quilt done on Daphne. A really big quilt. One of the Moda, my favourite colour is Moda ones that have been sent in to us. And it is a big quilt. But I managed to get all that done. Sarah is busy stock taking the wool and she's doing a very thorough job. There's a lot of wool and we're having to count every ball and get all the websites sorted, so that's been cool. And Anne's been putting stuff into the ready-made section, so there's loads and loads of stuff in the ready-made section for you. You'll have to excuse me, I'm extra snuffly. I've come home from the shop and just like super snuffly today, so very sorry. I don't know why, just my singing nose has been terrible for like 3 weeks now, and it's been driving me insane, so I'm snuffly. Sorry, guys. So yeah, Anne's put loads and loads of stuff into the ready-made section on our website at stupid prices, like £3-4 type thing, for loads of bits. I had a massive clear out while we were off over Christmas of all like the samples that we've made when we were on Crate and Craft that we had to take up and stuff. So all of those that we don't need anymore, we've put them all into the ready-made. So there's lots of things there if you want to. Let's say hello. Hi Annie, hi Ali, chilly Plymouth. I know it's chilly here as well, darling. Hi Carol, hi Eileen, hi Claire. Hello, my lovelies. Hopefully you're all a little warmer than I am, because my sewing room, stroke studio, stroke bomb site, has got no heating in it, and I am frozen. So this is going to be a quick one, just so that I can keep warm. Hi Lynn, how are you, lovely? Oh, have you got snow, have you, hun? Oh, we haven't got any snow. It's just wet and cold out there. It's horrible. So a couple of little announcements before we get on with the blocking all today. We are going to we've done lots of quilt-alongs before, and I'm going to announce a new one that we're going to be starting in February. So our quilt-alongs, they are completely free for you to join in with. They will be on a Wednesday evening, just like this is now. We'll give you the fabric requirements and all beforehand. That will be going up this evening. Sean's done the graphics and all for me, so that will be going up this evening, and we'll run it over. Excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. Oh, I got a sneeze stuck. You know when you can feel it. I will sneeze in a minute. Sorry, guys. Hi, Marion. Hi, Marilyn. Hi, Lindy Lou. Hello, my darling. Hi, Maria. Hi, Tina. You've got snow in Dawlish. You're glad it's too wet to settle. Yeah, absolutely. It's good. I'm going to sneeze in a minute. I'm really sorry. I can feel it. It's brewing. It's just there. So yeah, there's a brand new quilt along starting. It's completely free for you to join in if you want to. We will run it over 5 weeks on a Wednesday evening, starting on the 5th of February at 7 o'clock. There'll always be the 7 o'clock sessions. I'm going to nip over to the overhead so you can, over here, so you can see the graphics, okay? So this is going to be called the Bathhouse Quilt. Because it's come from basically from tiles that I've seen, including tiles that are in my bathroom as well. So that it's a mixture of lots of different tiles that I've seen around the place. So we're gonna do this one. Are you doing a group quilt? Yes, I am. I'm gonna be announcing that next week, honey, Eileen. So yes, so this is the new quilt along. This is completely free for you to do. You can do just one block if you want, which is 36 by 36. It's a big block. This, with a couple of borders on, would make a lap quilt just by itself. The graphic that Sean's going to be putting up after the live will give you the fabric requirements for one block, okay? However, you can do more than one block if you want to do a bigger quilt, okay? So that's 4 blocks put together, and you can see you get these really lovely secondary patterns happening, okay? That, if you did 4 blocks, would come out at 72 by 72, so a really good size quilt. And then if you want to make a really big quilt, which would cover a double bed, that would be 72 by 108, which is 6 blocks, okay? So I will put the fabric requirements for 1 block, 4 blocks, and then 6 blocks up for you after I finished on the live, okay? But basically, this is the block we're going to be doing. We're going to be tackling curves, which I know some of you are really scared of, but they're easy, I promise. Okay, we're doing easy curves. They're a little, you've got opposite corners. Okay, so your corners are slightly different. So you've got curves in this corners, and you've got sort of like half square triangles. They're actually quarter squares and half squares in these corners. Okay, but that does mean by doing that and doing the different corners, you end up with these lovely secondary patterns happening. Okay, so that's the 6 block and that's the 4 block. Okay, so this is the new quilt along that we're going to be doing. Free quilt. I've done a thing in black and white as well for you, so you can just, you know, you can think about using your own colours. This will work well with solids or very small patterns. Okay, you'll need a background fabric, which is white on the graphic, and then you'll need 5 fabrics. Okay, you need a little bit more of fabric D, which is this dark blue. You need if you're just going to do 1 block, you're going to need long quarters of the others and just a fat 1/8 of like where the green is. But it's 5 fabrics, but small amounts if you just want to do 1 block. Okay, if you want to do more than that, then I can give you the fabric requirements for that as well. You love tiles. Yeah, I do as well. And I think so many tiles are, you know, sort of, what's the word, sort of hold themselves to actually become quilt blocks. Do you think this would work with thicker fabric to make it into a floor mat? Oh, there are some very small pieces. There are 1.5 inch pieces in this. So if it's too thick, then probably not. What I would do if you wanted it to be a floor mat is I would probably do it in some cottons or linen maybe, and then do like double thickness of wadding and all to make it a bit thicker. But Cheryl, I don't think I would do this in fabrics that were like upholstery fabrics. Some of these pieces are small, and I don't think it would work, and you wouldn't get the crispness of it. So yeah, so that's the quilt along. There'll be more information on our Facebook page, and I'll go through this. This is starting the first week of February, which is actually not very far away. So it will, and we give you time to sort of get the fabrics together and everything. Personally, I think they would work well with very small prints, or maybe like polka dots or something like that. You don't really want anything that's got a big print on it for this. You're going to lose that lovely effect. Okay, so things like dimples, spray times, those sorts of things. Something like the soliloquy that I was using yesterday in bright colours, but have got small patterns, would work with this. Okay, so sorry, I'm gonna have to blow my nose, guys. Do apologise. Let me just come back over here a second. Marie, you've nearly finished the last one, so you'll be able to. Should you start this one? Oh, of course you should, love. Of course. You think it looks good. So Judith, are we doing a group quilt again this year? Yes, we are. I'm going to be announcing that on Tuesday. Okay, in the Tuesday live, we're going to be. I'll be announcing the new group quilt. We could probably talk about it on Sunday, because remember we've got our big charity live on Sunday, starting at 10 o'clock and finishing at 10 o'clock at night. So 12 hours will be live. Sarah and I will be live for. We've got some guest appearances coming in actually into the shop and as well coming on live with us as well. So it should be a good day Sunday. But yes, I'll probably talk about it on Sunday, the group quilt. But we are definitely doing one. It's not that quilt. That's the quilt along. That's a new class or course for you guys. Which is completely free of charge. For we're going to be doing it on a Wednesday. You can join in if you want to. You don't have to sew live with me. You can just watch the video. There will be a pattern each week which we'll put on our website, which we normally do at £1, just so you've got the printed instructions for those of you who like to have a physical pattern to follow along with. But yeah, so that's that. Right, I'm just going to blow my nose. Okay, so go over here and have a little look at these a second, because I do apologise. I'm extra snuffly today. Extra snuffly. And it's only since I've got home. I don't know why it is. I don't know why it is. This is what we're going to be doing tonight. Okay, I'm calling this Stars and Stripes placemat, because this is a stripy star. Okay, I just had to come up with a name. I mean, it was bad enough trying to come up with a name for this. the three of us brainstormed for about an hour earlier. I'm calling it the bathhouse quilt because it does look like the tiles in my bathroom, and also tiles that I saw at the Roman baths as well. It's in a Roman spa in Bath as well, so that's where that's come from. Right, let me get myself organised. Right, what we're going to be doing tonight is this one. Okay, hi Carol, hello lovely, hi Karen. Sorry, not Karen, Claire. I misread your name there, lovely. I will be very honest with you. This nearly got thrown away. It nearly got thrown out of the window because I saw a little reel, but it was a lady from Indonesia, and she didn't have any measurements on the block at all, the video in the slightest, no measurements at all. So I spent 4 hours on Monday. I've done this 14 times. I cut it out, cut it out 14 times, and 11 of the 14 times it didn't work until I eventually got the right measurements. This is, like I said, called it Stars and Stripes. And it's this really pretty sort of striped style, and it's a way of doing strip piecing. It's how you cut it, okay? How you cut it and measure it, and then put it back together, and you get this lovely sort of like, it's a hexagon with this star in the centre. Now, I'm going to start over here. This is how I start. This was one that finally worked, but it's humongous. Okay, it's huge. And I didn't want it that big. This would make a really nice table centre. And I will, I'll put a post up in Gigglers with the measurements for this one. But this, because again, I was so fed up of cutting fabric and wasting it, and cutting more fabric and wasting it, I didn't bother with the stripy bit of this. Well, it's actually like, I don't know if you can see, it's like a polka dot. Just because I was trying to work out the measurements. So you can do this with lots of different sizes. So this, I eventually got it to work large, and then I had to try and get it to work small. So using a scrap pack, I managed to actually get it to work as, again, with a single piece of fabric. That's just a single piece in the centre. And then I've popped a border on this one, and I'll show you how to do the border as well. The border's nice and easy. That's, I think, is actually a really nice size placemat. You know, once you put a plate on that, and you could just, some insulating wadding or normal wadding back in, and I'd actually probably face it rather than bind it. Really nice placemats. However, if you can obviously make these into blocks. If this wasn't bordered, or you can border all of them, you could make lots of these, and you could make them into a hexagon quilt and just use them as quilt blocks. Throw away. I know, Lindy Lou. Honestly, the amount of times I had such a little paddy on Monday trying to make this work, because every time I thought I'd got the measurement right, I would cut into it and I hadn't got the measurements right. And it didn't fit together, and the angles were wrong, and I was so cross with myself. Excuse me, I do apologise, my nose is terrible tonight. So once I'd finally got the measurements right for a little one, then I made, right, now I want it to be stripy, so I use 2 different fabrics, and that's what we're going to do tonight. So just to let you know the struggles that go into sorting out these lives for you, and the amount of angry shouting that goes on in the sewing room in order to get something that looks vaguely decent to show you guys. So what you will need is 2 strips of fabric that measure 2 inches by 15.5. Okay, and again, same again, 2 inches by 15.5. And then you want a piece of fabric, which is your background fabric. This ends up on the outside here, which is 3.5 by 15.5. Okay, and that's all you need for one block. All right, or one placemat, or whatever it is you're going to do if you're making this size. Okay, if you're going to add borders, you'll need more. Okay, but we'll get to that in a minute. So we're going to start by just sewing these 2 together. So along one of the long edges. So line them up, and we're going to stitch down 1/4 inch. So over we go to the sewing machine. Yeah. Oh, Linda, you'd be proud of me, Lindy Lou. You really would. The amount of times I threw stuff in the bin and then fished it out because I thought, right, well, it's got to be that one. It's got to be. 4 hours. This was been a frustrating one. Really frustrating one. Mainly because of the angles. There's slightly different angles on it that you're going to cut, but I think sometimes it's good to do something that challenges us. You know, so this challenged me, and then once I got it, I was like, oh, it's actually really easy once I'd got the right measurement. So I'm going to stitch these all the way down. Like that. There we go. So how have you all been? Is everybody okay? Who's going to join us on Sunday? Who's going to join in with the quilt along? Did you like the blog? I hope you did. I'm really pleased with how it's come out. I have done a little test one in complete scraps, some of the elements of it, and it's looking like it's going to work really well. So all I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to iron this open. Because it's a placemat, you want it to be as flat as possible so you don't get any rocky bits when you put your plate or your plant pot or, you know, candle mat or whatever it is you're going to use this for. This time, and you know, I don't normally, but I'm actually going to iron this open. It worked better with it open. We're so lucky it's ready for us to go ahead and make. Thanks, Grace. Yeah, you wouldn't have. What, the air was very blue on Monday. I did a lot of shouting, frankly. Maria, you usually get a comment from the other half saying, "I thought this was supposed to be relaxing." I know. It's supposed to be a relaxing hobby, not always. Eileen, you're going to be joining the quilt along and on Sunday. Lovely. Claire, you're going to join in on Sunday. Amazing. Right. Okay. So this then goes on top. So right sides together. This is a plain. So there isn't really a right and a wrong side. So just put them, if you're using a pattern fabric, make sure they're right sides together. And basically we're going to make a little tube. Okay, so I'm going to put that like that. Like that. And we're going to stitch down both sides. Okay. So back over here. Tina, you're going to try on Sunday, but I had a good few days. I walked away from your sewing machine yesterday. And a baby blanket you really need to get done. Oh, sometimes you need to clear your head, love, don't you? Sometimes you need a day off from all of the bit nonsense and just clear your head. Carol, you're going to join in on Sunday too. Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. It's nice when people sort of like comment and let us know that you're there, ask us questions and things, because it keeps us going. I was a good girl. Yeah, unlike you, my darling, I was a good girl and I fished it out. Ali, you're going to be there on Sunday too. Oh, amazing. Obviously, you don't have to stay with us for the whole 12 hours. You can if you want to. You know, we will be live for 12 hours. You can absolutely stay with us if you want to, or for all 12 hours. But if you just want to pop in for a couple, see what we're doing, company, tell us a joke, anything you like. Hi Leslie. Oh, you're going to be there too. Amazing. So move that side. Sorry, I've got really thick trainers on and I'm struggling to feel the sewing machine pedal. Okay, so I've made that sort of tube now. I've gone down both sides. How long will the quilt along be over? Over 5 weeks, lovely. It'll be every Wednesday for 5 weeks. But remember, you don't have to do it within that 5 weeks. I'm just going to do the tutorials over that time. You know, you could wait till the end and then just save the videos and watch them as and when. You can sew along if you want to. You know, entirely up to you, lovely. Where's the link for the charity on Sunday? It should be in on our Facebook page, but I'm sure we'll get it put up again tomorrow as well. I don't know if Sian's there and listening. She might be able to put it up now for you. Right. Claire, you stayed the whole 12 hours last year. Oh, yeah, it was. It was a lovely day, wasn't it? Really, really good fun. It wasn't just sewing we talked about. It was all sorts. Hi, Marion. How are you? Hope you join you on Sunday. Remember to charge your iPad, lovely. Yep. It's -8 there. Oh, my goodness. Jean, you're going to miss most Sundays at your singing workshop. Oh, bless you. Oh, well, just pop in and say hello if you can, lovely. Now, we actually were going to chop this up into 5-inch pieces now. The reason I made it 15.5 rather than 15 is, can you see, just like, you know, obviously when it's been, where I've ironed it and stuff, it's just a bit dodgy at the end here. So I've said 15.5 so that we can just straighten up this very end bit. If you cut it, it's to give you wiggle room, basically. That 1/2 inch was to give you wiggle room. And now we're going to cut this up into 5-inch pieces. So I'm going to just line it up there like that. And there's my first one. And then next one, like that. I've got to sort out all my stuff. Oh, there you go. Anne's just put a link up for the charity. Anne, you're planning to be with us on Sunday, working on your prism pinwheel blocks from the tree. Oh, fantastic. Eileen, last year you were getting a boiler put in. A lovely permit put it in on the Sunday, yeah. Oh, well, at least you had the boiler fitted. That's good. Right, okay, there we go. So I've got 3 pieces now that are all 5 inches across, okay? Next thing you want to do is we're going to cut these across diagonally, but if, as I found out, if you just cut from one corner to the other, it doesn't work. You've got to cut from the seam here. Okay, so there's my 1/4 of an inch there. There's my seam. So I'm going to cut from the corner of the seam down to the corner of the seam there. Don't include the seam allowance into the diagonal, okay? You're looking from seam to seam, okay? You watched with me, worn by a convector, all of you. Hi, Anne. Hello, my lovely. So we're going to cut it. We're going to put the top of the ruler on that seam there, and we're going to put the bottom of the ruler on that seam just there, okay? Don't include, because if you include the seam allowance when you cut it like that, the angle is wrong and this doesn't work, okay? So you want to go, and if you look on my ruler, can you see my 30-degree line here? That's actually going to run down the side of the fabric as well as an extra check. So if I go to the seam and to the seam like that, my 30-degree line is parallel to the edge of my fabric. That's what you want. Okay, so I'm going to cut that one up like that. Okay, so you've got this 1/4 inch seam allowance still here. That was my mistake. When I cut my first lot, I went corner to corner instead of seam to seam. And I was... No, that wasn't the only mistake, believe me, when I was doing this. And then that's... The other thing to note as well is, I don't know if you can see, on these two, I've got the same fabric of the stripes, so the polka dot is on the left, okay? And I've cut top left to bottom right on each of them. It's very easy to do that, and then your pattern won't work. So again, make sure that the same fabric A, is always on the left, okay? And then we're going to go seam to seam like that. And then we're going to iron these out. And then it's nearly done. I mean, it's very easy, this. Once you know what you're doing. Before that, not so much. So I'm just going to iron this out. And I'm not going to iron them open. It's fine to go one way at this point. Okay, that's one. And there's two. I'm just trying to read some of your comments while I'm doing the ironing. Sorry, guys. I went a bit quiet then, didn't I? I will put another picture up of I'll show you the quilt along again in a moment. Once we've put this together, and you can all start to have a think if you want to join in. There is nothing there. Please don't be put off by the curves. I promise you, they're super easy to do. Super easy to do. Everything else, there is nothing we haven't done on any other block that or quilt along that we've done. There's a log cabin-y bit in there. There's 1/4 squares and 1/2 squares. Okay, so there's nothing complicated. It looks like it's a complicated quilt, but honestly, I don't do hard. Okay, each element is very, very easy. It's just about how all those elements get put together. So there we go. I've got my equilateral triangles now, which is what I wanted. And now we're going to put them together. So I'm going to alternate them. So I've got my sort of large grey bit and then my large polka dotty bit in each pile. Now I've got to remember how I do this. Hang on 2 seconds. So that one goes... Hang on, I've got to get it right. I want that. Hang on. I've got to make sure which way. Right, so that's a flat edge. There we go. Right, so I remembered I used the mat for this. It was easier. So I've got a long straight edge, flat edge, and then that one's going to go. No, what have I done? Hang on, like that. There we go. So flat edge here. I'm working on this vertical line. So one goes down. This one goes in like that. So I'm always keeping the white, and then I want another one of those, and that one goes flat edge again like that. There we go. So you keep the white to the outside because they're not just like edge to edge. Can you see? So this is the bottom. So you've got bottom of the triangle, and then you're going to do it the other way. So that one goes next. So bottom of the triangle goes to the side, bottom of the triangle goes to the side, bottom of the triangle goes to the side. There we go, it works. This one has pickled my brain. It really has, but I got there. Then you're going to sew them in 2 halves. So they're like that. So we're going to put these 3 together and these 3 together. Okay, so right side together, just line up the centre. Okay, line up the centre of the triangle here. And we're going to stitch down that one. I make it look simple. Honestly, I did not on Monday. If you'd have seen the swearing and everything that was going on, this one really, really pickled me. It did. My brain just could not see the angles, and then suddenly I was like, oh, there we go, got it. Got it. Right, there's the first one. Let me just iron that out like that. So it was always the bottom of the block to the side, bottom of the block to the side. Now I see I've confused myself again now. Had to keep checking. Right, I'm going to put it back there. There we go. Check it again. So that's 1, 2, and then again. So again, I'm going to line it up on this little piece here because that's the edge that I want. Like that. I'm going to sew this side. So I'm pinning. I'm going to pin the side I want to sew. Like that. Honestly, it is easy to do. By the time I'd done like the 3rd one and got it all right, I was like, right, yes, I'm there now. I've got it. But the first couple, oh, not happening. Okay, right. And then we're going to iron that one out. And you want to iron them all the same way. So if this one's ironed that way, I want this one to iron this way as well. So that they rotate round the middle and you don't get any, you don't get that much bulk then. Okay, so I'm just pressing that one. There we go. So there's my first half. And then I'm going to do the same for this one. So that's going on to there, like that. Line up the centre edge. Pin in that side because that's the edge I'm going to sew. Thanks, Lindy Lou. Honestly, this is genuine one I'm quite proud of, that I didn't trash the whole idea and come up with something else, because I had to persevere with it. I really did. It was one of those ones that nearly got me. Well, actually, it's very, very simple to do, but my brain couldn't see it for a second. Well, for 4 hours. Okay, let's just press that one out like that. See, I've confused myself again. There we go, that one. It really is worth keeping checking the first one, because it's very easy to get it wrong. And again, I'm lining up to that point there. There's probably a much simpler way to do it, but I liked the idea of doing a tube and cutting them down and not having to have specialised rulers or anything like that. Because I know you can buy 60-degree rulers with got all different markings and stuff on them. And I'm all for gadgets for the right job. But I also think, sometimes sewing can be a really expensive hobby, and we shouldn't have to buy another ruler just to be able to do something. So that's why I wanted to work it out with a normal ruler. And I did. I got there in the end. It nearly, it nearly killed me, but I got there in the end. There we go. So press this one out as well. So basically, as long as you've got two pieces that end up being 3.5, you could do as many as many stripes if you wanted to. So we've got 2 stripes here in the star, but it could be 4 stripes. You could do, you know, like 1-inch pieces and sew them together, as long as it ends up as being 3.5. And then this is where we're going to just join those, find those 2 center points. We're going to put the 2 halves together. I'm going to put a pin through that center point just there, like that, and I want it to go on that little point just there. Okay, so I'm lining up that center first. I'm not going to push the pin through properly at the moment. I want to make sure that everything else is lined up first. And get this edge lined up like that. Come on, there we go. Come back, pin. Okay, and once everything's matching nicely, then I take that pin out and do the centre. Okay, and we're going to stitch down there. Yeah, I really like the... Hi Sharon, how are you, lovely? And oh, looks lovely, and the fabrics. Oh, thank you, Han. Sometimes it is really hard work, but I appreciate the thanks. So go a bit steady because you've got lots of fabric in places, so go nice and steady just to get all the way through. There we go. Like that. What's that, Cheryl? I often swear while sewing, especially when sewing along with a video tutorial and I'm not quick enough to keep up with it. I really should play back at half speed. I wonder what I'd sound like. Like that. Oh, there's a pause button, love. Just pause me or mute me and then you wouldn't have to listen. The block looks like it's been an English paper piece. Oh, it does a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, it's that kind of feel to it, doesn't it? But you didn't have to paper piece it. It can be done on a machine with machine piecing. So, there we go. We've got that lovely block all done. Okay. So you can see that now, if you made lots of these, you could then join these together. You what's happening here in between the blocks. You could do lots of blocks if you wanted to and make it into a really beautiful quilt, which I quite like the idea of, but the amount of trouble I've had, oh hang on, you can't see that, amount of trouble I've had with it, it's probably not going to happen. I'm going to make some little pot stands, I think, although they'd be quite, I think they'd be really cute placemats, really cute placemats. There you go, I've just gone a bit bigger so you can see there's the block starting to come. Why is one going one way and one going the other? How have I managed to do that? See, I don't even know how I've managed to do that. Not a clue how I've managed to get it to do that. I better cut one way and one the other. Probably. I can't even remember. Can't even remember how I did it now. However, like I said, I'm not making a quilt out of these. These were my practice pieces. I'm going to make these into little pot holders. So, I don't think that's necessarily quite big enough for a placemat. So you can, if you want to, put some borders on. Okay, so I'm going to grab some fabric that matches one of these. So I'm actually using these, which I've had for ages, and I was going to do a quilt and then I didn't, so I thought use them for something that you're actually going to use. Lovely as a table runner. Oh yeah, wouldn't that be nice if you could do like all those along the centre of a table? Be really pretty and different coloured, maybe the stars. So we're going to border one of these. So first of all, I'm just going to quickly iron this. What we want, you can make your border as big or wide as you want, okay? But I'm going to keep it at 2 inches, I think, so that it echoes the size of the stripe, just for aesthetic reasons. Okay, and I'm going to cross cut it so that my stripes are going this way. So I've got little stripes. You know I love a stripy fabric. So let's cut a 2-inch piece like this. And that way, like that. We'll cut one just for now, because I don't think we need to do the whole thing. First thing I want to do is just take off these little pieces here before I start putting a border on, the little dog ears. So put my ruler down like that, and I'm hoping that I got my ruler the right way around. Haven't I got a, there it is. So the 30-degree line will sit along here like that. There we go, like that, which means if I come down, I know that I'm keeping this nice and square. So can you see the 30-degree line is running along the seams, that edge between the coloured fabric and the background, and it gives a nice straight edge there to take off those dog ears and square it up basically. Turn it one way. So I'm now doing this edge, and again do exactly the same. So 30-degree there, so that I know actually that one doesn't really need much off. It's teeny little shred, but it's just a nice way of keeping it really square so that when the borders go on, everything is neat. Yeah, and we don't need to do that one. This one here has got dog ear, so let's just get that one like that. Here we go, nearly there. One last one, we can get on with it. So, have you all been thinking about the quilt along? I hope you have. Who's going to join in, and what colours are you going to do it in? Now, I know my graphic's in blue, but what I'll do is actually I'll do a graphic without any colour in it at all, and that way you guys can use it as a colouring sheet. I'll put it up as a free download on Facebook, and you can download it so that you can colour it in if you like. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start right sides together. Now I'm going to give myself about, what's that, about an inch hanging over, okay, to start with, because you've got funny angles here. I'm not going to cut this off until we put the next piece on. So there we go. Do you think magic dot or speckled dot would be a good fabric? Oh yeah, magic dot definitely. Or the Ruby Star Speckled would work beautifully for it. Absolutely beautifully for it. Because it's a small pattern, but without... I was actually thinking about doing Magic Dot myself, to be honest. But I've also got quite a lot of fabric I need to use up. But yes, a pattern like that, something that's a little pattern, and then nothing too big, because you won't get the feel of the tiles at all. There we go. So I'm just going to stitch along there. Would be nice quilt as you go quilt. What, this one that we're doing now, or the quilt, the new quilt along? The new quilt along, it's a big old block. It really is. It's a 36-inch block, and I had to do that because of the amount of detail. So one block would make a what's the word? Make a lap quilt basically. But this would be a nice quilt as you go block, absolutely. If you used Nicola, Daisy and Grace's method, where she brings the fabric over and makes its own binding, yeah, Carol, it would be lovely, wouldn't it? Nicola's version of that would be great. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut off this piece in line with this edge. So I'm going to do that like that. I'm checking myself now. Yes, I am. There we go, like that. Okay. And then we're going to start here. Okay, again, give yourself a little bit extra. Not much, like half an inch. And that one's going to go on, and we're going to go along here. And you would just work your way around. I'll put like 3 on. But yes, Carol, absolutely. This would be brilliant for Quilt As You Go. If you've watched any of Daisy and Grace Nicola on Secret Sewing Club, she was demonstrating this last time I was on with her actually, doing Quilt As You Go with hexagons, and it's a lovely method. There we go. You get the idea. I'll put one more on, guys, okay? And then you can see the border. I won't do the whole thing. I'll give me something to finish on. Yet another thing to finish on Sunday. There we go. So like that, okay. Oh, that's my phone going. You're running out of battery. And then again, I'm going to I'll see that stripe is kind of a stripe, but never mind. That one there, and then this piece will go on, and you just, like I said, work your way around. Now, is that long enough? Oh, it is just excellent. If I'm careful, that's just going to be long enough. And then I would do another piece all the way around, and what I'll do is I'll trim this side down for you. But I'm aware of the time, and I haven't had my tea yet, frankly, so I'm not going to do the whole thing because it's very repetitive. Missed the camera. I thought I pressed 4 and I hadn't. There we go, all the way down. Like that. And then back to here. And you can see you've got that. I've got Beetlejuice vibes going on. I mean, I know they're not quite the right colour, but it's those stripes, I think. It's the stripes and dots. So you would keep going all the way round. So I'd add one here, and then one here, which came right the way across this one. If you, oh, actually, you could Y-seam it. If I unpicked this one a little bit, put the one underneath, and then laid this one on top, it actually looked like they were all lying round, which I think I'd probably do, actually. That would make me happier with these stripes not sort of lining up and stuff. I think I would do it like you do, not a Y seam. Yeah, a partial seam, not a Y seam. I think that's probably what I'll do, is I'll just unpick that little bit so I can add this piece on and then put this one back on top, and that way they'll all sit nicely round underneath each other. When you want to square it off and finish, you're literally just going to use this edge here like that. Oh, somebody beeping outside. And take that piece off there and do that all the way around like that. This is, I'm using the 1 3/4 line here as well, just to make sure it's all, and then I would work my way around. And you've got, that's a nice size placemat. You'd easily get, you know, a big sort of ramen dish or a pasta bowl on that and protect the table. And I think they're really sort of quirky, unusual, you know, quite modern looking. However, they would make great quilt blocks. You could border them and then join the quilt blocks as well, then, you see. Obviously this is completely different to this, but you get the idea, you know, that you could then join them in rows and make really beautiful quilt blocks. But I'm actually quite liking these now. I'm quite liking these fabrics. I might make a little set of placemats to myself with this strong stripe around it. I've got different colours. Yeah, I've got dots and stripes, and I've got this sort of printed fabric. These I bought from Sugar Crafts. They're Chula Pink ones. So I might make myself a little set of placemats with this because I'm liking these stripes. That appeals to me. Right, okay, I'm going to very, very briefly show you the quilt along again. So this is the free quilt along. It's going to start on the 5th of February in the evening. It'll be a Wednesday at 7 o'clock, okay. You can do either just one block, okay. This looks quite complicated. I promise you, it's not. It's really not. When you actually break down the elements, and we're going to do it section by section over the 5 weeks, it's not, okay? That's one block. It's 36 by 36. You could put a couple of extra borders on that. Beautiful lap quilt, okay? Or wall hanging or something like that. You could do 4 blocks, which would give you a really good size quilt, 72 by 72, okay? And then you get these lovely secondary patterns happening, okay? Or you could make a full size quilt, which is, I mean, that's big, 72 by 108. That's a big old quilt, okay? That's bigger, that's, yeah, slightly bigger. Not quite as wide, but as longer than the Moda, my favourite colour is Moda one we did together. You could put 6 in, you get all sorts of really funky patterns happening then, as well as the secondary ones. And this is the one that kind of, I think, looks like a tiled floor, okay? This is the bathhouse floor. This one. This is where you walk across the beautiful tiles before you go and have your jacuzzi, okay, or your hot tub. But it's entirely up to you if you want to join in. Like I said, we'll be doing one block together over 5 weeks. Okay, you don't have to do it in those colours. You can do it in any colours that you want. Okay, I did do a little black and white one, so you're not distracted by the blue and yellow. You can absolutely do it in blues and yellows if you wanted to. That was purely the colour I chose for the graphics. Okay, but you could do it in any colours at all. I think it works well with small patterns, like I was saying. Don't go too big. You could do it in solids, you could do it in linen texture. Magic Dot would be a beautiful one. Ruby Star Speckled would be lovely. Grunges. You could maybe go with one that's got a slightly bigger pattern on for these bigger pieces, but for all the smaller bits, definitely go with blenders or a ditzy print. Okay, and join in if you want to. Right, that's it for me for tonight, my lovelies. I will put all of this details on in a moment. Sian's probably already might have already put the graphic up, but I will put all the fabric requirements and all up for you if you want them, if you're going to do more than one block. Don't forget to join Sara tomorrow. She is doing tribal applique tomorrow at 1 o'clock. We are chatting to Adam from X-Crate and Craft Presenter on Thursday evening at 8 o'clock on his page, which is Adam Humphries TV. Okay, so we're on that tomorrow night, and then Sunday, you can't get rid of us this week. We've been off for Christmas, now you can't get rid of us. Sunday, 12 hours of White Gecko. I mean, what more could you want? 12 hours on Sunday, starting at 10. So, yeah, I will see you at some point over the next few days, I'm sure, my lovelies. So, thanks, everyone. Yeah, so thanks, Sharon. Thanks, Ali. Yeah, lots and lots of you saying thank you. No problem. Take care, my loves. I'm going to go get something to eat and take some more tablets to stop this happening. And I will see you very soon. Take care, my loves. Night-night.